Hey, welcome to Mad Dog's After Show. That's the AFTR show. With the Mad Dog and Cole, I do what I can. Farrell.
Sprint cars are like sitting on an engine.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait.
Oh man, here we are. Final episode of 2022, episode 19. I can't believe we've got 19 of these in. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, we want to make sure and thank our boy Evil for teaching us to live in the sunlight and jump motorcycles through the air. At least some of us want to. Of course, we want to thank our partners, Kicker Performance Audio, kickeraudio.com. All your boat, motorcycle, truck, car, side-by-side, ATV, or personal audio needs, look them up, kicker.com. And of course, Bomber Floating Eyewear at bombereyewear.com. Tommy the Bomber has this figured out. You want to have 17 pairs of Levi's, you should have 17 pairs of Bombers. No promotional value from Levi's, by the way, but thank you, Bomber, for hooking me up. I love these boogie bombs that I wear all the time. They've got not only the OSHA approved safety lens, but these are polarized, so they are fantastic. I have a pair of polarized Tiger bombs that I wore yesterday. The lenses are a little bit bigger, and they fit my head a little tighter. They fit in the helmet better. So I wore them yesterday when I went out for a little rip in the desert. So that's bombereyewear.com. Check them out. Mad Dog approved. Of course, the Premix podcast. Cole doing what he does with your desert racing media. Check it out. Give them a follow at thepremixpodcast.com. No, at the Premix Podcast on Instagram.
There
My
we go.
bad.
We're not a .com because we're hiding from the government. You know what I mean?
Hey, we all should. Let me tell you, it's probably the safest thing. I don't want anybody sniffing my hair.
And on that note, that's 2022.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, so you went for a little rip yesterday?
Yeah, went for a little rip. It was good, man. I had to rework some of the electrical on some of the switches. I overtaxed one of the switches and it made some wiring hard and brittle. And so I had to go back and replace the switch and fix some wiring. So I just wanted to do a little shakedown. I took the Viking with me and we geared up and went out and hit the desert a little bit and chased some washes. And then my buddy BC showed up out here and he happened to have his GBC tires Yamaha RMAX 2-seat. And so we went out down south and just up on one of the ledges and caught a little beautiful sunset last night. And then made a little bit of a night ride in back to home. And only issue I had was I grabbed my goggles. I was wearing my bombers, but I grabbed my goggles just in case. And without thinking, I didn't check the lenses because Scott had sent me a brand new set to replace my old 89 Ti turbo flows that they don't make anymore. And I neglected to check the lens, and it was a rose blue lens. So I didn't even try them at night. I just suffered through with my bombers, and I need to get some amber lens bombers for riding in the at post sunset.
Yeah, that would help even cut through the dust and stuff too. I actually wear them in the snow.
Yes.
That's where I found they're magical because you can actually see what you're doing almost.
Yeah, that was the beauty in the old Scott 89 TIs, the TurboFlow TIs, was they were originally designed as an over the glasses snowmobile frame.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so they were vented very well. And I ran the Rose amp lens that they don't make anymore the whole time, every Doomfest I was at, because you could see every contour. I tried their progressive lens one time when we were out doing some testing up in Oregon. And it was really cool, but the problem is I couldn't make out the contours, and it was very, very late winter, and so the sand was tore up by Mother Nature. There were some washout um, spots, and I found one. I couldn't actually see it with the other lenses, so
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I actually rode 6 miles back to camp just to change the lenses.
Worth
Um,
it. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So, but yeah, man, oh man, here we are, episode 19.
We
Like,
almost snuck 20 in, but
yeah,
we got a little late start because I kind of drugged my feet a little bit, getting everything figured out, but now we're on a roll.
yeah, and it's crazy to me that we're even at episode 19, and thank you. I mean, there's I'm going to go through a list of things I'm thankful for in 2022. Um, and I am going to, you know what? First thing I'm going to do, when we were up at Mom and Pop's in at Thanksgiving time, uh, we were sitting there with my daughter, and one of my daughters and her hopefully son-in-law at some point. Um, and we were having coffee with my folks, and my pops got to telling stories, and I was able to record a little bit of it. And I want to play um just so people know like where I came from. This is my pops talking about his very first car, which was a 1937 Ford. So hopefully this works.
But my dad was so afraid I was gonna crack that car up because it had mechanical brakes. So anyhow, I turned 16, got my license and drove it to school. And it tried to, everybody, when you left school, we had to peel out and leave a little rubber, the only way that car would have enough power to peel a little rubber was they found a little bit of sand over on one side of the curb, and you give it all it's got, hit the tires spinning in that sand, and then when it hit the pavement, the dry pavement, it go, yep. So, anyhow, it'd do 65 miles an hour, wide open, in high gear.
Yeah.
But it'd do 67 miles an hour in second gear.
Oh.
Wow. What?
So,
Yeah,
Dude,
so
that is epic.
my dad talking about his first car, and I fortunately or unfortunately only got about 8.5 minutes of time recorded, but I have made arrangements for him to be prepared to be on the show, and sometime, hopefully, maybe even in January, we can get him.
That would be cool.
So we're going to start off. We're going to start off with the early January show, episode 20, with the prospects of 2023, and a fill in on the schedule then. But until then, we're going to cap 2022 with just a few stats from this last year. And I wish I had that picture of my travels this year. I forgot to I sent it to you, texted it to you, but I forgot to tell you to get it ready. So, but you're on the podcast, you're listening, so the picture's not going to help you. But I'm going to go through a list. I spent the night in 51 different cities, I believe, last year.
Wow.
Yeah, and 19 different states.
That's actually that is a more impressive stat than the 50 cities.
And I don't know how many I drove through, to tell you the truth, because there were states I drove all the way through and never spent the night in. But that being said, yeah, it was a crazy wild year. Man, and between flying and driving, I mapped it all out, and I traveled enough miles to go around the globe roughly twice.
So is that travel or is that all driving?
That was total travel.
Nice.
The driving was about 1.5 time, just a little between about 1.25 times
Okay.
around the world. So,
And that's all in the grinder for the most part.
yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Did you figure out how many miles you put on the truck exactly this year?
I have not sat down and figured it out exactly.
It might bum you out.
Coming up for tax time, I will have to know that, but we're not quite there yet. So, yeah. So, starting out last year, and this is a long list. It's like a 3-page list. So bear with me, but we're going to go through it. I'm going to add like some happiness and highlights as we go in my voice, so it keeps it interesting for people so they don't get too bored. But we started out, of course, here in Havasu and Loveland, Colorado. By the way, these are just towns that I stayed in.
Okay, yeah.
These are not towns I drove through because I couldn't, there's no way. So Loveland, Colorado, Amarillo, Texas, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Guthrie, Oklahoma, Greensboro, North Carolina, Reno, Nevada, Denver, Colorado, Santa Rosa, New Mexico, Stillwater again. So here's one for you. It is called Natchitoches. Natchitoches. It is spelled Natchitoches.
Where's that at?
Tell me that spelling doesn't say nacho Cheetos to you.
I think that's what the town's actually named, but I
Yeah,
realize you're trying to be, appropriate in today's society.
and they call it Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Oh, really? So, I thought, dude, I swear that's like, I was like, oh, this has got to be Washington.
Nope.
It should be Alaska and then maybe Oregon. So
Right.
Alabama.
Louisiana. Yeah. Defuniak Springs, Florida, DeLand, Florida, which is right at Daytona Beach, Biloxi, Mississippi, Marshall, Texas. We are Marshall. Fort Worth, Texas, Texas Motor Speedway, of course. Again, Stillwater, Oklahoma, headquarters of kicker.com. Hobbs, New Mexico, for the second round of Kicker Monster Truck Nationals last year. It's a great time. Nice little oil town, good place to be from. Holbrook, Arizona, page 2. Of course, back to Lake Havasu City. Santa Rosa, New Mexico, again. Stillwater, again. Oakville, Illinois. It's weird. Okawville.
That would give you a lisp if you grew up in that town, just trying to pronounce
Right?
it.
Cool little town, nice people. So Oakville, Illinois, Lexington, Kentucky, Mount Vernon, Missouri, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Richland, Mississippi. Yeah, not so choice right there. Not so choice hotel. I stayed in there. That was pre starting the podcast, but it would have been a good one.
Can you imagine starting on that episode and just ripping this poor town a new one?
Yeah. Richland, I have some good friends there in Richland. They own Pro Audio there in Richland. Jimmy Ham. Dude's super rad dude. So anyways, where was I? Richland, Mississippi, Madison, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, very cool town, Paris, Texas, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Moriarty, New Mexico, Gallup, New Mexico, Hawthorne, Nevada, Bend, Oregon, Reedsport, Oregon, Winchester Bay, Oregon, Castle Rock, Washington, otherwise known as Kelso, Castle Rock, Bend, Oregon, Corning, California, stayed at a nice little casino there, Sacramento, California, Santa Rosa, New Mexico for the third time, Stillwater, Oklahoma for the seventh time, Springfield, Illinois, which, if you remember correctly, that's where I had the issues with the trailer. And thank you, Jeremy and crew at Trailers Direct to Springfield. Again, I'm still so grateful, and it's so nice. It was great. I got a nice little Christmas message from Jeremy at Trailers Direct to Springfield, and I sent one back. That was really cool. It's good people turning my bad situation into a long time friendship. So and a listener. So thanks for listening, Jeremy, and subscribing. So we're in Springfield, Illinois, Mount Vernon, Missouri again, Stillwater, Oklahoma again, Gallup, New Mexico again, Costa Mesa, California. One of my highlights because I got to see Cole 3 days in a row. That was so awesome.
You're probably so sick of me.
Oh no, I wish you'd have been there all day, every day. You're probably glad you weren't.
No. I wish Sancho and you were there for a whole week.
Yeah, wouldn't that be rad?
It's like all my friends leaving town. I'm the crying Indian on Monday looking at all the trash and everybody's gone.
Yeah, right. From there to Fallon, Nevada, commonly known as Cole.
I mean, Vegas to Reno.
Yeah, would Top Gun.
Oh,
Pit 11.
Yeah, it's right outside.
Yeah, right outside. Yep, for sure. Right outside of Fallon. That was an interesting little town also. I'd never stayed there. And I might again. I might not. I won't stay at the same place because that's the one where I pulled in. They said they had truck parking. And I pulled in with the grinder and the trailer and ended up having to back out onto the main, like 5-lane street.
No thanks.
2 lanes each way with a turn lane. Yeah. That was doggies. So Redmond, Oregon, Rock Springs, Wyoming. That was a cool little trip. I don't understand. I ran from I left Boise out of there. Redmond, Oregon, Boise, Idaho, Rock Springs, Wyoming. Excuse me. Denver, Colorado again. Beaver, Utah. Beaver. Spent the night in Beaver, Utah, that is. So, all right, we're going to leave that one alone, I think. Probably just as well, yeah.
Yep.
Lake Havasu again, stay in a hotel there with the team. Prescott Valley, Arizona. Glamis, California. Osborne, that one was actually Glamis Beach Store for Camp Razor, and I stayed in a rented trailer for 9 nights, I believe. From there, Las Vegas, Nevada, SEMO, we just covered not too long ago. Back to Boise, Idaho. Bend, Oregon for, I think, the 3rd time that year. Back to Boise again for the 3rd time that year. And back to Glamis, Osborne Lookout, where I stayed in a rented trailer for, I believe, 5 nights. So, man, that was probably boring as hell, but it was kind of cool just to reminisce on all those, as you write them down, you start thinking about, as I was writing the list down, I was thinking about the cities and what was cool and the specific road trips where I stopped at those cities. And, it was, the people, some places, the people were just so awesome. And some places, it was like, wow, but, yeah, no, there's really truly blessed to be safe after going so many miles, and driving so many miles all around the country. I literally drove, um, to Florida twice and to the Pacific Northwest, uh, once. But if you look at when if you looked at the travel map, I would call it East Coast to West Coast, literally the hard way, because I literally drove from basically Daytona Beach, Florida. I didn't just drive it in one shot, but I covered from Daytona Beach, Florida, up to the North Oregon coast.
Wow.
So the U.S. diagonally with little spurts down to Southern California and up to Illinois and out to Kentucky. So,
Yeah. So what's the most, sorry, but you have thoughts coming to my head. So what's the most northeast city you got to?
the most northeast would have been, you know what? Did I leave Lexington, Kentucky out of there? No, I got it. The furthest northeast I got was only, I guess, what would be considered the Midwest, um, which is Springfield, Illinois, which is just a little bit south of Chicago.
Yeah. So I mean, you were definitely north, but
Yeah,
yeah, not a whole lot of what we do motorsports wise happens in that corner of America.
yeah, correct. And so, yeah, and they have some American flat track races out there, but it just didn't pencil out to go that far for like a one race deal. You
Yeah,
know what I
almost
mean?
6 to 8 days of driving.
Yeah,
Go to
yeah,
Williams Grove, which would be cool, but it's got to make sense.
right, exactly. So, yeah, it's I don't know, it was good. I'm definitely blessed to be safe. And I think of some of the special situations, instances, um where I really saw blessings on this trip, and I've made a lot of friends this year. Man, we just been, when you're in, so, all right, here we go. Arizona, Nevada, California, Colorado, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Louisiana, Florida, Mississippi, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, Oregon, Washington, Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
Bam.
Yeah,
Well done.
it was that was a great year, man. It was taxing, but I'm always up for a little extra hard work. And yeah, man, it's been, just superb. I'm grateful for the people that have been started following us and subscribing, and the input that we're getting from people. Um, thank you. I hope you're enjoying just sitting back, crack yourself a cold one, and take a listen. Unless you're driving, I have a
Then use
couple
a
of,
cup holder.
yeah, you for sure use a cup holder. Um, and I have a couple of friends that download the episodes and then listen to them while they're driving. They say they're enjoyable. So,
Well, we
um,
appreciate you, road warriors.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Huge respect. It's been cool seeing Cole, seeing you getting back involved in motorsports, um, and having success at it also. So,
Yeah, even if we were getting dead last place, I would still be just as passionate about it. But I don't know, there's something that makes it even easier to market to the wife and stuff when you're like, yeah, we got a first, we got a second, because I was there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's a big part of it, man. And you know, it's uh yeah. I mean, it takes a team, you know. There's only an I in Team Lauren, so um just kidding. Anyways, no, man, it's great to see that going on and see you back involved and doing, you know, being involved in your passion. Of course, I'm so unbelievably grateful for you signing on to do this. You know what, you didn't realize that you were going to be on the second mic, and certainly didn't realize that you were going to be on video. Um, and but dude, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you jumping in and doing this and handling the smart side of things for me. Um, yeah, it's just, man, of course, our partners, our help, uh, dude, just overflowing with thankfulness right now.
Yeah, well, and the road of thankfulness. I mean, I'm thankful that you brought me on board with this, and I assume gave me the first right of refusal because, full honesty, I was having fun with the photography and everything with Premix Podcast, but the actual podcast itself, I was getting burnt out. So this was kind of a nice reinvigorating way to step back from absolutely leading the whole thing and getting guests and traveling and all that stuff. So this was a cool way to use what I figured out from my show into something that's actually quite a bit more fun, where we're both communicating or touching base every week, and it's a lot more consistent. So this was a very good thing for me as well. So I am thankful for your thankfulness, but at the same time, trust me, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. So
Yeah, I know that about you, and but I am really grateful that you signed on, and man, we're just kicking ass, you know.
it's been fun.
We're having fun, and we're just gonna keep having fun, you know. Uh, it's like Beaver said a few episodes ago. It's like, if you're having fun, keep making content.
Yep.
Don't worry about anything else. Just have fun and make content. And that's kind of, you know, I was explaining to a friend of mine last night. That's kind of, you know, that's kind of where we're at. Like, we just want to have fun and make content, you know.
Oh yeah.
And the important part is getting stories out, like you know, Jim's story, Jim Beaver's story, Seth Quintero. Um, man, and he's on the plane. I've been watching. He's actually in, I think, Saudi now. I think he finally made it. So
Okay. Well, good.
yeah. And Mitch Guthrie Jr. is en route. I was messaging him a little bit earlier. I think he was on a layover, and I just, you know, some strong, fast, smooth, and we're all proud to have you represent us here back home. We'll be cheering you on. So, you know, it's I think Brabeck's on his way over.
Yeah, I think he left Christmas Day. So
Yeah, so he's probably there.
yeah.
But yeah, man, that leads us to January, man. Dakar is coming up quick. It's going to be exciting. Cole is going to be Grandmaster Stats on that.
Yeah, by the time we're doing episodes, I'm gonna be overbearing with information as far as what's going on with Dakar at that time.
Yeah, that's great because I start traveling January 4th. So the morning of the 4th early, I am out of here to Vegas to hop a flight.
Can you say what you're doing?
Yeah, I am going to be in Loveland, Colorado at the Bud Event Center for the what they have renamed it with the new ownership. Stand by. I'm fact checking myself. So it's just going to take me just a second here. It is now called the AMA Arena Cross Championship presented by Kicker Performance Audio.
So that'll be. So are they in the middle of a series right now, or will that be the first round of 2023.
That will be the first round, technically the first round in 2023, but they're doing a mixed schedule. So they've already done 2 rounds. So technically it'll be round 3.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and we may, you know what, we may even end up recording from Loveland.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be really cool.
We haven't done a road episode in a while, so
we haven't.
see if we remember how to do it.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're just so praying to the gods of hotel Wi-Fi that it's smooth.
Yeah. Well,
there's streaming.
There's been a couple. I think that host hotel is a Hilton, and with my membership, I have their premium Wi-Fi. So
what I like to hear.
We'll see. There's been a couple. I think Gallup, episode 1, I think we had to stream on the phone, or link on the phone. Was it Gallup or was it?
I don't know. I was just looking at the list, but yeah, I mean, we've definitely, right in the beginning, you're traveling an absolute ton back to back to back. So the only time to even get a hold of you is on the road. So yeah, I think we did 3 of the first 6 episodes on the road.
Wow. Yeah. We need to do more from the road, because that's when the stories are fresh and things are good.
Probably keeps your sanity up too on the road a little bit.
Yeah, and it gives you something to look forward to. It's like I want to hurry and get to the hotel and get checked in and get washed up so I get something to eat so I can
you have a deadline, you have a schedule,
I want to record. I want to get that done. I want to record that podcast. Yeah, I get to see Cole tonight, know. So yeah, no, it's a big deal to me, man. So but yeah, we're just, I'm thankful. My family's been through some stuff this year with my mom. I'm wearing the pink shirt to support all the ladies, and just let you know, anybody that's fighting breast cancer or has fought or had a family member that has fought and lost, respect. My mom's fighting. She, even with the little situation with the heart valve replacement and the little mini stroke, she's still doing very well.
Good.
And well on what appears to be her way to recovery. So thank you, all you listeners, for your prayers and positivity. Mom is just as sharp as ever. She was my dad. If I was to play that recording a little bit longer, my dad goes on to his second car, because his dad was afraid he was going to wreck the first car because it had mechanical brakes. So his dad found him a 1947 Hudson Super 6 4-door. Had brand new paint. It was a bright burgundy. And my dad was talking about it. My mom chirped in that, it had suicide doors. It was
cool.
Unique because it had suicide doors, so, and that's quite the story in itself, because it was too quiet. And so my dad took a railroad spike and a hammer and punched holes in the muffler to make it louder.
That's some hot rodding right there.
Yeah, that's old school Southern California hot rodding right there. But we'll get into some of that. I can't wait to have him live on the show. We have
great storyteller. I mean, you can even tell just from that little clip,
Yeah.
See where you get it from. You can flow.
Yeah, he's well, and that's where, maybe not where the storytelling, I'm sure the storytelling came from there too, but the certainly the need for speed came from there, and it's just like him to take a, it does my heart good to know that the first car he ever owned, he wrung its neck in every gear just to see what it'd do.
Got to find out.
Yeah, right. So it's pretty rad.
Yeah, I don't know. I always think about that too. Just it's so like hindsight's 2020, right? But it's so easy to work on cars back then, just as far as like home modifications and everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure his stories are just endless on stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and he helped build race cars back in those days, and yeah, there's just so much. I mean, um, he hopefully he'll get in when we have him on. Hopefully he'll get into talking about. I think it was a 36 Ford that he raced up in Alaska or crew chiefed up in Alaska. Before I was born, long before I was born, it had a flathead. They used the Mercury pickup flathead because it had more horsepower. And every week he had to pull the oil pan off and roll a new set of bearings in it in the bottom end.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many bad days did you have before they figured that out? You know,
Right.
like, well, just change them every round.
Yep. Yep. But just the fact that you could change mains and rods
Uh-huh.
in the car by pulling the oil pan, I
That's kind of
mean,
exciting. You didn't know what you had until they made them inaccessible, and then you're like, well, what the hell?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, no, man, we are, had an amazing Christmas. It was just a Viking night, but we had a nice time and a great Christmas. We had some friends over for Christmas Eve, just a little tiny, tiny get together. Of course, in our development here, New Year's Eve is a big deal. So we've got a considerable party coming up that we're going to start the partying Friday.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to put on a little afternoon get together Friday just to kind of pull the trigger on the weekend for everybody. And then come New Year's Eve, I'm probably going to hide out at home.
That's what I was gonna say. You get the think of your Evil Knievel rocket cycle, right? You get the party going, and then
Yeah.
you set them off, and then you say the Irish goodbye, and then you
Yeah.
duck and let the chaos happen out there.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And man, here we are, along for the ride. 2022, 19 episodes in the book with a late start. Um,
Yep, mid July is first episode.
yeah, Gallup, New Mexico.
So if we get 50 episodes next year, that would mean we're right on pace.
Yeah, that'd be rad if we could do 50, 52, who knows, we may even have a few more.
Oh yeah.
If I could ever figure out how to just shut up and keep them short, we could record a couple more. But we've been blessed to have some great guests already for just such a little podcast. I mean, we've had the Wes Kane. Um, I'm Wes Kane, and you're not. Yeah, we've had Hot Shoe Hall of Famer Scotty Dubler, and the voice of American Flat Track. Man, let me see who else have we had. We've had Seth Quintero, of course, Red Bull fame, Dakar record, current Dakar multi-stage winning record holder, as well as the youngest person ever, not just American person ever, to win a Dakar stage.
He was on episode 18. And then also we've had Jim Beaver on recently. Beaver. That was episode 16. We missed it by one with his race number being 15, famously, of course.
But didn't he say he wanted what episode did
115.
He 115. That's right. He gets it. Thank you. Man, you're doing such a great job. This role was made for you, dude. It's like, do you have your tablet handy?
Professional backseat driving. That's what I'm doing.
Or your iPad? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not showing up on camera, but
yep. Yep. Nice. Yeah. Nah, dude. And it's been fun. We're just having a good time. I think you look forward to it. I certainly look forward to it. I really look forward to when you can come out here and bring Lady D, and her and the Viking can go have drinks, and you and I will sit down in here and record right beside each other. And that's that may get a little grab assy, but it'll be fun.
It
you
will
know?
be fun, and
So-
I will have a few drinks before that
Yes.
as well. So
as well you should, for sure.
but yeah, so let's vow to at least do one in-person episode, if not two. That'll be my 2023 resolution, to make it out to the lake twice.
I like it. I like
So,
it.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. So, what do you got for 2022?
For 2022, I have a quick list here, and it's not nearly as extensive as yours, so it will go quick.
Are you
So-
saying I'm long-winded?
No, I'm saying that you're detailed. Let's see. So January 2022, I went to the desert 3 times, starting on New Year's Day. Big Bear, Holy Jim, King of the Hammers. Spent a few days out at Hammers. February, I drove a GT3 992, and that was at Speed Vegas.
Nice.
Went to Supercross and NASCAR. In March, nothing fun happened because I got married. Just kidding. But no,
No.
that was a month
Oh.
off.
Cut.
April, went to the desert twice. Went to the Moore Johnson Valley race. In May, it was all Speedway. June was also all Speedway, Costa Mesa. July, I was at Glen Helen Moore race and SRA. Apparently, August was a wash because nothing happened. Must have been too hot. September, Paris Auto Speedway. Went to Sand Show. Speedway again. District 38 Rattlesnake Chase. October, I had 2 rounds of Speedway with the AMA Championship being rained out and the District 38 Monster Mash. November, went on 1 desert trip. In December, I made it to the Moore Barstow race and the last District 38 race of the year, Christmas Classic. That brings a total of 11 desert trips, and I only left the state of California 1 time.
Wow, look at you. That's pretty impressive. From what would you say your trips out to races last year was, 2021?
Actually, probably more,
Really?
because I didn't have a lot going on as far as like wedding planning stuff went and all
Oh,
that.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and then I think I was even more desperate to go. So I'd say it's got to be close, but I'll give it probably 10% more races the year before. So
Wow.
I aim to make that up this year. So this coming up January, I'll be at Supercross twice, going to both Anaheim rounds. But
Nice.
also trying to plan and sneaking into King of Hammers at some point of the 9 days. So I have a Jamaica trip coming up for some business. So between Supercross and Jamaica Hammers, I want to get out there. I just got to figure out how I'm doing it. So that's my next goal I'm set on.
Wow, cool. By the way, I just noticed your hat.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Did you just think it was Chevrolet the whole time and you were bummed?
Yeah, I was like, no, I wasn't bummed. I was just like, I honestly, I thought it was like an old Earnhardt Chevrolet hat,
Oh yeah, similar.
because the way the hat is in my view, it almost looks like the E of Earnhardt Chevrolet.
Oh, I
this-
could see
where
it.
it
I could
says
see it.
city.
Yep.
It almost looks like the Earnhardt signature. So, that's what I thought it was. And you look down, and I'm like, that's a city Chevy hat. I love it.
I know. I
Very
always feel so
nice.
silly jumping out of my Ford Ranger wearing my City Chevrolet hat. But for
Oh,
those
well.
listening at home, this is an authentic new era Cole Trickle City Chevrolet hat, his first sponsor when he was racing for Randy Quaid's team. So once that went online, I was probably the first person to buy it.
That is awesome, dude. It's yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank
So
you.
I should let me see what I don't know what I have here. I don't really, I have some hats, but they're usually, most of them are in the bedroom. Because I rarely wear hats, as you well know. So
Yeah,
So-
I'm drowning in hats right now, and I need a haircut, hence the hat. So
yeah, it's funny because, well, this one, you'll see a lot of pictures if you follow me. You'll see a lot of my pictures from Red Bull Sand Scramble with this.
there you go. You should wear it like that over the headphones too.
Yeah, That's the States and Kingdom hat.
Oh, it
Um,
is. Okay, so that's real insider motorsport stuff.
yes, yes. So, um, and it was just cool enough that the breeze was cool enough out there at Sand Scramble that I was afraid the sun would just cook the top of my head off. And so I just started wearing a hat during the day to make sure my head didn't get, you know, didn't get fried. Um, and realistically, I could have brought sunscreen, but in blowing sand, sunscreen turns into sandpaper.
It hurts a
Um,
lot.
yeah, so yeah, I wore that hat and I really like it. It's really thick, so it's pretty cool. But anyway, oh yeah, and for those of you listening, well, suck it, you'll have to look at it on the what's that
YouTube.
gonna be? On YouTube, yeah, when we get there. When we get there. So with that, um I want to say thank you to everybody who's downloaded an episode, everybody who's subscribing and following us. If you're out there, you downloaded it and you're on your way back from Glamis after New Year's and you're catching this. Hope you had a happy New Year's and safe New Year's. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of both Cole and I's heart. Cole, I can't thank you enough for making this happen. Um, I mean, I still remember the text conversation. Hey, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm just working. I'm like, everybody's been bugging me to do a podcast.
Like, want to
Oh
hang out?
yeah, that's rad. That's a great idea. You should do one. Like, would you produce it for me? And I don't think there was like any hesitation. I think it was like for sure. Or
Yeah, it was. I
yeah,
remember it was like, yeah, I'll do it.
yeah,
And then it started like, we just got to figure out the direction of things, you know?
right.
It was a yes. Okay, so let's start planning. That's how in my head, that's how I remembered
I
that's going.
I think that's and thankfully you're like, okay, we need to have this, we need to know this, I need this. I did my research, we need this, we need Buzzsprout or whatever. Um, and I got to do the easy part. It's like, okay, you tell me what we need and I'll buy it and I'll do it and we'll get it set up, and um man, I can only imagine. I am actually so I have not listened to episode 1.
Yeah, maybe
I have
don't, you know?
I have watched it
Oh, okay.
because
Oh, well, there you go.
we all right, people. So Kelsey Morel Film, who, yes, she's one of my daughters, but she's also a uh TV, movie, and music producer and finishing up her degree. She's also doing TV commercials for several places, but she's doing all the video work for us, getting them ready to put up. So, for those of you that are like, you're never going to get video, there we actually have, I believe, 3 episodes completed now and ready to upload.
Nice.
And my plan is to be able to get at least all of 2022 up on our YouTube channel as soon as we have it for you in the first quarter. So
That would
I
be
don't,
good. And it'll be here soon. So,
yes, yeah, like 3 days. So with that, Cole, thank you. You really make this thing happen for reals. You are by far and away. I mean, you're the pretty face behind the camera,
yeah,
in
totally.
front of the camera, and the brains of the operation. All I have to do is sit here in a pair of bomber floating eyewear shades and a kicker t-shirt and flap my jaw. Um,
You're the sex appeal. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, maybe orange peel.
That was
Um,
fast.
but no, I'm just so grateful to have Cole along for the ride with me as my co-host, producer, business partner, whatever you want to call it, man. Little brother to me. Dude, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for making this happen. I can't wait for 2023 and what's going to happen. We've got some good guests coming up. I think the one that I was going to get last week, we're going to have to do maybe the second week of January.
Okay.
If I can do it the first week, I will, but I think it's going to have to be the second week.
He's a big deal, so we're willing to work around him.
Right. And that's
or her.
Yeah. And that's going to be full of surprises also. So,
oh no.
To all of you. So, yeah, no. Other than that, man, you got anything else to cap 2022?
No, I just thank you for having me along for the ride and doing this venture. I look forward to it during the week. It's some guys play softball, some do bowling or whatever. You need something in the week to break up the grind. So that's what this is for me. But yeah, I'm just grateful for, I know it sounds silly, but I say it on social media all the time. I'm grateful for all the people that still invite me to the desert, even if I'm not able to do what I once did, or just a much, 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 much slower pace. So I'm grateful for Jake and the Clavinos and all those families that still invite me out to the desert. And I try not to miss any of those opportunities. Hence, I'm trying to go out even this weekend. So
nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm very grateful for, is all the people who didn't forget about me, I guess, in this industry. So
yeah, and there, what's funny is as I talk to my motorsports friends that are in the side-by-side or quad industry, and I tell them, hey, we got to get you on the podcast, and they're like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. I said, yeah, I'm doing a podcast, and Cole, you remember Cole? And they're always like, oh, from the tire shop. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh yeah, he's a right guy. So,
oh well, thank you.
There's so many people out there who remember. I mean, even Seth,
Yep.
and you've been out of the tire shop probably since
2019. So
yeah, since he first started to shave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point.
So,
yeah.
So, and he still remembers you. So, I think that's great, dude. Thank you. And one other thing that I think we need to touch on real closely and carefully is we want to be sure and thank the Striking Viking and Lady D for the support.
Absolutely.
And humoring us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's we've done some episodes that have been very late night, past bedtime, and the fact that they're cool with it and graciously give up their time so that we can do this. Thank you very, very much to both Devin and the Striking Viking.
Yeah, it's just we wouldn't be where we're at today without them, I don't think.
No, absolutely not.
And it's I'm grateful. I'm grateful for both of them.
As am I.
It's just yeah. And one of these days, just for fun, it would be really cool to just turn it over to those two.
Yeah.
Just like swap out our headsets.
Call it the Two Hot Blondes episode or something.
Yeah, and say we'll be back in 45 minutes. So that would be fun.
That would be fun.
That's something we got to do. Of course, you never know what they're going to say about us.
Well, we just got to let it go.
That would be part of the fun for sure.
You just got to trust the staggered tires and just send it.
That's right. It's a special set. It got real special stagger, man. I can't right now. We're eating ice cream.
Ice cream. Yeah. Stay tuned for our Days of Thunder episode.
Right?
Episode 46 for his number.
Oh, yeah. We should do that. The 47 is going to be the blooper reel. So
yeah, it's going to be rough.
Yeah. But you know what? It'll be easy because we'll do the intro and we'll say, here we go. And it's going to be harder for you because you have to put all those clips together.
It's okay. I'll still be so excited from the Days of Thunder episode. It won't be an issue.
Yeah. Well, you might want to start now. Just
Yeah, I might have already started.
we're only 19, 20. I'm counting with my fingers. People, shut up. 40. We're only 28 episodes away.
Right. Well, yeah,
That's pretty quick. Coming
roughly
up quick.
6 months. Roughly 6 months.
Yeah. So we'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I know there's a lot more I wanted to say, and I'll think of it all afterwards. But I want to thank everyone for their support. I want to thank Cool, especially for everything you do. I want to thank our partners, Kicker Performance Audio, kicker.com. Thank you so much for the unwavering support, and for the work, putting me to work, and keeping me busy, giving me the opportunity to build more stories to tell to the rest of you.
Yeah.
If you've got automotive, boat, marine, off-road, side-by-side, personal audio needs, your car, your truck, anything like that, Kicker Performance Audio, kickeraudio.com, kicker.com. Sorry, my bad, kicker.com. Instagram at Kicker Audio. Of course, Bomber Floating Eyewear, bombereyewear.com. Tommy the Bomber, man, always looking after me, always keeping me fresh. How many guys do you know that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of white wraps in various styles that's just in the house. I have 2 more in the truck that are prescription. Just so I have the correct white wraps to match the occasion.
For any situation life throws at you.
Yeah, absolutely. Bombereyewear.com. They have so many different styles. Viking has a pair of the aviators they call the Strange in a blue mirrored lens. They're actually pretty sexy on her, at least. I look like the creep from Terminator. But anyway, yeah. So bombereyewear.com. Give them a follow at Bomber Eyewear on Instagram. Of course, the Premix podcast, our man Cole doing the getting the pictures, getting the highlights in the desert, all these desert races, and some of the stuff that you've gotten this last year, and the little, didn't you get that class 11 like the little beater rollover over the little hump?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I knew you
I know
got some.
I watched it and I was so
Okay.
shocked that I didn't get it on camera.
Oh,
I did see it in person though.
well, all your desert photography needs, desert racing photography needs, check them out on Instagram at thepremixpodcast.com. No.com, at the Premix Podcast. That's ThePremixPodcast.
Boom.
Yeah.
That would be much appreciated. So we're going racing next year, so follow along those adventures.
Oh yeah, I look forward to so much of that, and I've really enjoyed your crew chief stories, because it's like I'm crew chiefing vicariously through you now,
Yeah.
and so man, we've got some good stories coming from both of us. Some of our history, some of our race stuff. We've got that coming up. Of course, Kelsey Morrell Film at Kelsey Morrell Film on Instagram. It's doing all our video stuff. I want to throw a couple of extra shout outs to Trailers Direct of Springfield. Jeremy and the crew, man, just props and respect. I thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys so much, and so grateful for the friendship that we've made. Of course, I want to thank the guys that have been on this year, starting with Wes Kane, Scotty Dubler, Jim Beaver, and Seth Quintero. Man, there's some hard hitters.
I
There's some
know.
heavy hitters on that list, and we're just little guys.
I know the bar's pretty high.
I'm pretty thankful. So, Western Power Sports actually hooked me up with the helmet that I've been using this last year. It's the Fly Formula Carbon, like 2.1 pounds in a large. I mean, thing weighs nothing. Has the MIPS built in, which for those of you who don't know, it's basically newer impact absorbing system they've put in helmets to reduce brain injuries and head injuries. Fantastic
your
job.
Low speed, your high speed, and
Yep.
literally, not a joke, millions of dollars went into the research of that helmet and development. So
yeah, and probably hundreds of concussions have been saved because of it. And so,
yeah.
Well done, especially coming from someone who's suffered multiple concussions over multiple decades.
And more to come. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully
but
not.
You never know. So, that's a couple extra shout outs there. The boys at Scott Goggles for that new pair of Scott. I apologize. I don't know what model they are. I would call them the Fits Good model because they fits Mad Dog good.
The FGs fits good.
Yeah. And of course, all the guys that I've worked with this year, like the General Mr. Butts, dude, thank you so much. I always enjoy working with you. Six Speed and States and Kingdom, thank you for the opportunity to help you guys out. Russell the Love Muscle, my buddy over at Buggy Whips, always huge love. Man, I don't know. We've got some good stuff coming for 2023, but 2022's been pretty doggone good,
I agree. I concur.
And with that, I want to say Merry Christmas. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a safe and happy New Year. Keep driving keep driving on the wrong side of the road, passing on double yellow lines, and exceeding the speed limit. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do any of that because it would be irresponsible of me to endorse that kind of behavior. I would recommend that you get out, live life in the sunlight. You don't have to fly motorcycles through the air, but take heed to what Mr. Evil Knievel said and enjoy every minute. With that, we'll see you in 2023.
We're out.
Mad Dog out.